Hey everyone, it's Michelle from OnGrowing Works. I'm back for our second interview with Ben Dunn from Verge Permaculture. We hope you checked out our first video and got to learn a little more about the awesome work that Verge is doing in the permaculture realm, as well as OnGrowing Works. So Ben, great. Thanks for coming back for the second video.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Well, Ben, I realized in the introductions in the first video, I didn't actually ask you, what is your role at Verge? And I'm sure people who are watching want to know that.
Yeah, it's honestly a difficult question to answer. My title on paper is an environmental technologist, but really we're a pretty small team. We have a pretty big online presence, but there's only 5 or 6 of us working full-time behind the scenes, and not all of us working full-time hours. And so, they call me the lumberjack because I'm kind of the jack of all trades kind of guy behind the scenes. I do, if you have any questions, if you reach out to us via email or a contact form, I'm the admin guy. If there's any technical issues, I'm that guy. I do all the business automation. I'm a course coordinator in the upcoming permaculture design course. I suppose that's a big piece of my kind of portfolio with Verge, is helping to make sure everything is running smoothly. All of the student care along the way, setting up the learning management system, a lot of that kind of stuff. And social media. So if you've been following us in social media, if you've been following us on YouTube, I record most of the videos. I'm doing all the Instagram and Facebook posting. Facebook only had Facebook. So yeah, I wear many hats, as does everybody on the team.
So when do you sleep? It sounds like you're busy.
I know it's tough. It's like I start the day and then all of a sudden it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it's like, whoa, where'd the day go? So there's definitely there's a lot happening behind the scenes. It may seem really smooth and seamless, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes to keep it running.
No, that's wonderful. It sounds like you guys are busy, and that's a sign of a successful business and with a great cause as well. So, prior to us actually hitting record here to do this video, you were telling me a little bit about your journey to Verge and how you moved from Toronto and you took one of the courses offered by Verge. And that really kind of leads into what I want to talk about today on this video, with what are a few of the things that people can do to start practicing permaculture in their daily lives, and to become more aligned with those principles and values, because it sounds like you've kind of taken the same journey and really started to embed permaculture into your life.
Yeah, I would say anybody, no matter where you are, can start with these 3 things. And the first is obviously one of, it's the first principle in permaculture is observe and interact. You are a Homo sapien. You are a part of nature, and your life, all our lives, all of the technology, all of the infrastructure around us comes from the earth. So I would say go for a walk, and start to really notice some of the plants and the trees around you and the birds. Really start to insert yourself into that landscape and begin to connect. I know that was a big one for me starting out. Like when I first took my permaculture design course with Verge online, I started to notice all the weeds growing in the sidewalk. I was like, oh, like, what are you? What are you doing here? And I started to learn about why different plants grow there, and the different functions and uses and ethnobotanical histories of plants. And that was just my personal interest looking that up. But so, observe and interact, get out on the land, and observe and interact. Number 2, identify your watershed. There's this mantra in permaculture: water access structures. With any permaculture design, that is the order of operations. It's like, where is the water coming from? How are you going to water your gardens? How are you going to water yourself? Access structures. But so learn about your watershed. You turn on the tap, you turn on the shower, you run the washing machine. Where is your water coming from? You are a part of a watershed. Water comes from somewhere, and trickles down and then ends up somewhere, and you're somewhere along the way. So I think that's a really interesting thing to research, and it will come with a lot of really interesting insights along the way as to the energy utilized to bring that water to you, your water consumption on a daily basis, a lot of those kinds of questions you can start to think about. So, water too. Number 3, what are a few things you can do to get started with permaculture wherever you are? Find people in your area who are doing the same thing. I bet you there is at least one other permie in your area. I know when I was taking my permaculture design course last year in April with Verge Permaculture, I mean, it was online. It was, wasn't in person, not as easy to meet people. I did make some great connections in that online course, and a lot of people I still am in touch with today. But so I found Facebook pages like Permaculture Toronto, and I reached out to someone named Jane Hayes, part of Garden Jane. Her business is called Garden Jane. She does a lot of design and consulting in Toronto. And like through her, I realized, oh my God, there's so many permaculturists in Toronto, in my area. And from there, you can access resources, go to events, you can volunteer if that's what you want to do. So I think that's a great way that you can get started wherever you are. So I would say, observe and interact, get on the land, begin to notice some of the natural processes happening around you, identify your watershed, start to learn about where your water is coming from and the importance of water in your life. And then, connect with your local community, get out there and see who's around you. And that's such a rich resource. Like one of the first things Rob and Michelle did, my bosses and the founders of Verge Permaculture, is they started the Permaculture Calgary Guild in Calgary, and really just built that community, because the community is really the foundation of everything else. So I would say those 3 things would be my answer.
I like those, right? Because I think sometimes when we want to make a difference or learn more about something, we feel like we have to change the world and make this like big drastic impact. And it's not always like that, right? It's more the strength of the collective and sometimes the small steps that we're doing. And especially with that observe and interact point, man, with COVID, we've all been cooped up in our houses, and, just going outside to, be with nature and notice what's happening around you, whether it's COVID or not, right? It's so important, because I don't think we always connect enough with our surroundings and really appreciate what nature has given us. We're so fortunate, but we don't think about that. And then of course, your point on water, again, we take it for granted, right? We turn on the tap, we have clean drinking water, or I want to have a hot shower, no big deal, right? And how is that water coming to us? Is it a limited resource? How much is left? Like we don't think about that. And then of course, creating that community. I love it because you have to have a way to learn, right? And get different ideas in there. So I love the points. I'm wondering too, if you can talk a little bit more about this online course that you took through Verge. I'm personally curious, and I'm sure there's other people who are too, just because Rob and Michelle seem to be, well, I shouldn't say seem to be, they are so well versed in the permaculture world.
Yeah, so kind of the standard way to get started in permaculture is to take a permaculture design course. Traditionally, it's a 2-week 72-hour intensive course, and you're with kind of 10 to 20 other students on the land, getting your hands dirty with a teacher. But of course, throughout COVID, in-person events weren't accessible last year. So I had just finished university back in December of 2019, I guess it was. I'm not finding a job in early COVID economy. And so I found the Verge online permaculture design course, and it had been on my radar for a really long time that I wanted to do a permaculture design course. And they were offering this for like $800. Like it was so affordable relative to the in-person courses for often $3,000 plus. And so, we're hosting another one pretty soon here, November 18th, the course starts. And we're super pumped for it. This is going to be our 3rd online permaculture design course, and we have been getting a ton of interest. And we're really stoked about how we've been running the online permaculture design courses. We have a really diverse teaching team. Rob, Avis, Dakota Cohen, Carmen Lemereux, they were all speakers in the last summit. And we have a lot of really cool guest instructors coming too. So Stefan Sakowiak, he was also a speaker. Dan Chiris is coming on. We have Tad Hargraves, who's a business coach, a marketing coach. So we really try to provide, we really try to throw as much expertise and experience at you as we can. And so anybody around the world can take it, 3 lectures a week, November 18th to the end of March. And there's a final design project submission. And someone from our team will review your project and provide feedback, and get your certification. So that's how I got started. And honestly, it was that course that propelled me to be where I am today, now working full time with Verge. But I started volunteering, right? Like I took a permaculture design course and then was like, I need to find a way to do this with my life. Like I'm so passionate about this. And so I just wanted to get started. But that's a little bit about our upcoming permaculture design course. So if anybody's interested, go to our website. We have 3 different packages. We have the basic, the premium, and the pro. The premium comes with an on-demand rainwater harvesting course. It also comes with a passive solar greenhouse design course for just like a crazy low price. So if you're really wanting to, take that next step, you're wanting to build some security and self-sufficiency, you can do that. And then we have the pro, which is like pretty much everything in our online library, which is pretty exciting.
That sounds awesome. And to confirm, is this one online?
Yes. So
online.
Verge Permaculture will likely only be hosting online permaculture design courses moving forwards, just because we're able to reach so many more people at a time, and we're able to make it more affordable.
Makes sense
to people because it's in an online context. But we may have other in-person courses in the future or workshops. Cool. Not sure. Yeah.
That's great. We'll definitely stay tuned to your website for that. One final question to wrap up this video. So say we don't have the time to commit to doing a full course, and maybe you're more of a bookworm. What would be maybe one book, or is there a blog or something you recommend outside of Verge that you go and read? Or is there one that maybe's really inspired you?
Yeah. Andrew Millison is amazing. If I have to recommend videos or resources outside of the Verge umbrella, go check out Andrew Millison's YouTube channel. Like he's doing some incredible stuff. He was also a speaker at our last summit.
Cool.
But he's a permaculture design teacher, and he is just so articulate, and he makes the information so accessible, and he's got such a diversity of videos. So go check out his channel, watch his content, and that'd be my answer.
Awesome. I love it. I'll definitely have to check out his videos for sure. Okay, well, Ben, this brings our second video to a wrap. Thanks to everyone for watching. And again, stay tuned to both the OnGrowing Works and Verge Permaculture channels for our final 2 videos. We'll see everyone soon.
Bye, guys.